sports fans in the last few years have seen their habits change drastically. With internet broadcasters offering better broadband speeds and internet on the go, they don't have to rely on traditional TV anymore and are constantly looking for new ways to enjoy sport. To understand how clubs are taking advantage of this evolution, I decided to travel to Paisley in Scotland to watch the local club St Mirren battle for promotion to the Scottish Premier League. In the area, St Mirren is well known for being one of the few football clubs in Scotland to have its own streaming platform, and at half-time I headed up to meet some members of the crew.
I'm Greg King. So far I'm the match director for St Mirren TV. I've been volunteering here for the past 2 seasons, and pretty much I'm the one that organises what cameras to go to, what shots we want, and what the commentators will need to see.
Can you quickly explain to us what St Mirren TV is?
Pretty much it's a chance for people outside the UK to watch the games live. It gives you a sneak peek of what happens at St Mirren during the week, and then as I said, it gives fans from outside the UK a more in-depth view of what happens during the game.
Great, thank you very much, Greg, and good luck with the second half. After the game ended and the filming crew was gone, I was invited inside by James Hunter, the head of media at St Mirren. As we sat down in the trophy room, surrounded by relics of the club's prestigious past, I asked him whether or not the club's recent initiatives to put results, replays and highlights on social media had had an impact on the club's ticket sales.
Not an adverse effect, no. I think our crowds this season have gone up. I think in some ways it just supplements it. What you put out helps bring people together, and if you create a good vibe on social media, we've got a following on Twitter of over 24,000. I think if you keep people engaged through that, it then translates to people wanting to come to games and see things for themselves and get involved and feel a part of everything. Good goals, good football, people get excited about that, and it makes them want to come to games.
I think a few weeks back you tweeted at Barcelona, was it, with a video of a really nice goal actually.
Well, that was the first time we've ever sort of done that. It was just for a laugh. I didn't for a minute think that Barcelona would actually reply to us. We were just trying to have a laugh with our supporters. It was a good goal and Barcelona play this great freestyle, free-flowing football. It was only a joke really. And it turned out quite well. It got a lot of attention. Barcelona obviously replied to us and got a good amount of retweets and views on the video, stuff in local newspapers here, the mainstream press here as well. So yeah, it was good, but it's the first time I've ever really done anything like that. It's not something we're going to make a habit of. It just kind of felt right at that point to do it.
I'm going to talk a little bit more about players. I don't know if that's something. I don't know if you interact regularly with players, but basically, do you think that the fact that players now have a direct impact on their mediatization, the fact that they all have Instagram, they all have Facebook, Twitter, do you think that's a good thing for players, or do you think that it could be a problem?
I think for the most part, yeah, it's a good thing. I think you can interact directly with supporters, which I think is always good. We've had a couple of players in my time here that have been quite good with interacting with supporters, and I think it creates a good bond, a personal, a wee personal touch, and I think that's good from that respect. You do create those relationships and make supporters feel wanted.
Does the club have a guideline or rules regarding social media for players?
Not really, no. We've not really had any issues with it, so it's not something we've done, but I think it is something we're going to look at doing, just to keep on top of it. Sport has changed so massively, it's evolved, it's so much faster. You see everything from players, every bit of skill. If Griezmann scores a wonder goal, you see it very soon after on social media, and it goes out to such a large audience that everybody sees it, whereas in the past that was never the case.
What do you think is going to be the future for St Mirren TV?
I think we just go with kind of how trends are going, grow our audience and try and help that have an effect on ticket sales and getting people through the doors and generating more supporters.
Over bridges and road underwater. God's fan.
The talk with James gave me a great insight on social media management, but it still left me with a few questions about streaming. St Mirren TV may be a pay-per-view service, but a lot of other broadcasters opt for free platforms such as Facebook, Twitter or YouTube. Wanting to know more about this type of service, I braved the harsh weather to visit the Scottish National Hockey Centre in Glasgow, where I met with Paul Elliott, the communication manager for Scottish Hockey.
Scottish Hockey is, we don't like using the words governing body, but we are the governing body for hockey in Scotland. So we oversee the sport, we facilitate the sport being played, make sure that everybody has an access to the sport, try and grow the sport. But we're no profit, so we're not out to make profit, we're out to, everything we make goes back into the sport.
When did Scottish Hockey start broadcasting games? Because I know that's something you do online.
I think we've been doing it for quite a while, but it's really been in the last year and a half. I joined a year and a half ago, and I'm into streaming. I think it's great, and since I've come here, I'm always looking for the opportunity to stream, and we've done it way more than we have in the past. It feels really professional when you watch it. It is like how you've been watching sport your whole life. It's great that you can get such professional output in such an accessible way, in a way that's not so difficult to actually produce, whereas other routes can be quite tricky. They're not the easiest to put in place, and as the technology gets better, the output gets better, and I think we're kind of at a stage now where streaming is really viable as a great output for sports, not just sports, but events of all types, which I think we're starting to see more and more these days.
You use a lot of different online platforms actually. So on YouTube, for example, you stream a lot of games and you post. I saw you post interviews, for example.
Yeah.
You also use Twitter. You use Facebook. You've got a website. Why do you use so many platforms? Basically, what's the reasoning behind this?
We're quite lucky that we have an audience in each of our platforms, and I think where you've got an audience, you've got to satisfy the audience. And when you look deeply at analytics, you can tell which areas are stronger than others for certain groups. So, for instance, the older kind of generations use Facebook more than they do Instagram or Snapchat, etc. So, the kind of content that you are trying to generate, if you're looking for a certain market, you can generate it for that platform.
Have you seen an impact on membership numbers, for example, since you've been streaming more often?
Yes, I don't know if I would claim all the success for the streaming, because we've got lots of talented people in lots of different areas in the business who work in tandem, and we definitely see spikes, and I wouldn't say, yeah, it's all streaming, but I'm sure streaming has played a part. But Scottish Hockey has grown significantly over the last few years, with 60% membership growth since 2014. So
Scotland Euro Hockey Championship 2 winners.
This summer you had two big tournaments, the Euro Hockey Championships and the Grand Masters Hockey. What kind of impact did that have for the brand Scottish Hockey? What kind of
I think very good. Certainly on the international stage, I think Scottish Hockey is getting a really good reputation of being forward-thinking in the media output, and especially the Masters one, because no Masters event had ever been streamed before. So to have that level of hockey streamed at such a wide audience, and the figures are fantastic, and I think that is kind of unique.
Well, when I talked to James Hunter, we talked quite a bit about illegal streaming. He was quite scared that it would probably make St Mirren TV a little bit obsolete, in the sense that if you can get the stream for free, why would you pay for it? Is that something that scares you, illegal streaming?
Well, one of the reasons I love streaming is that I think to grow a sport, you have to show the sport, and streaming allows me to do that for hockey. We don't try and monetize the stream as in pay-per-view or anything like that, but there's other ways to monetize the stream as well, which I think is possibly a better solution, because for me anyway, I want to show the sport. I want people to see how good a sport hockey is, how fun it is, how entertaining it is, and by putting a paywall barrier up, I can't do that. So we'll probably look at things like stream sponsorship or pitch side advertising, cut away graphic advertising, other means to try and bring in the revenue, and it takes that problem away from us. Other sports, I think, have the potential to do the same. Why not? You're empowered if you're streaming. If you can get other platforms to work with you and support you on that, then there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do.
Paul really opened my eyes on certain advantages of streaming. This summer, fans from all over the world tuned in to watch Scotland beat Wales in their European Championship final, even though traditional television broadcasters such as the BBC had shown very little interest in the event. In itself, live streaming didn't bring in a lot of money, but it participated in a 40% membership growth in 4 years. To discuss this community aspect, I travelled to a very crowded pub in Edinburgh to meet Alessandro Gaillard, a fellow Lyon fan who has lived in the UK for years. Thanks to streaming, he's been able to follow his team from far away, and through social media, he communicates with fans and journalists from around the world. He is so well known amongst Lyon fans, Lyon Ultras talked about him on speaker during their game.
One day I've been criticizing the Ultras because of their behavior outside of the stadium, inside of the stadium, and how they don't criticize the coach at the moment. And I've been doing that for a while, then wrote an article about it. And one day I was sitting here in Edinburgh on my couch and my phone went crazy because people were telling me that the Ultras had mentioned me before the game on the speakers. And I don't think it was a song, I think it was just kind of an insult, and everyone just did the insult in the stands, so that was pretty weird. That was a weird moment, yeah.
I can't imagine. You're mentioning streaming, the fact that you watch games online. Is it illegal streaming?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think illegal streaming is a good thing or a bad thing for sports?
Well, fans that are far away, they need a way to watch the games, you know. Well, in Scotland it's not that bad. You have BT Sports. I used that for a while legally. But imagine someone, I don't know, in Russia or in Turkey, the Lyon games might not be on, and his only way of watching the game will be streaming and illegal streaming. So there's that, and so there's definitely something that football teams and leagues should think about is, well, in some countries our games are not on TV. What can we do for the fans there if we want to reach them? So there is the counter argument of actually more people are seeing your team, even if it's illegally, and that's still good for you in a way. And, you know, I'm in Scotland, I'm 2,000 kilometers away. There's not much else I can do. I don't go to the stadium as much. I can't boo as much as I would like to. So my only way of doing it is social media. And if we are 10,000 tweeting Genesio out, then they might well do something. And that's how I see it. I see it as part of a movement. Where are the fans, you know?
In the end, really, what I learned from this research was that, above all, sport is about gratifying fans. And right now, fans are looking for new habits to satisfy their sport needs. According to The Guardian, in 2017, Sky Sports saw its Premier League viewer ratings go down by a fifth, while Google, Facebook and Amazon all started preparing bids for a right to the next season. When institutions such as St Mirren or Scottish Hockey decide to broadcast events themselves and dedicate more time and effort into online campaigns, they open up their community to fans from all over the world, giving sport passionates an opportunity to be part of the community. Whether or not online streaming in its current format is the future is hard to say. But when American internet giants such as Amazon and Google show interest in buying the rights to the biggest sport events in the world, it really seems like the future of sport entertainment lies on the internet.